The latest we're tracking on NDTV at the moment, our External Affairs Minister Dr. Jaishankar has just met the US Secretary of State Marco Rubio at the ASEAN Summit sidelines. In fact, Dr. Jaishankar has taken to X to post, and I quote, appreciated the discussion on our bilateral ties as well as regional and global issues. Meanwhile, you must note that the US Secretary of State Marco Rubio just on the 25th of October, which is 2 days ago, defended Washington's closer engagement with Pakistan despite concerns in New Delhi, insisting it did not come at the expense of America's partnership with India. In fact, speaking to reporters, Mr. Rubio on his way to Doha had acknowledged that India was concerned for obvious reasons because of the tensions that have existed between Pakistan and India historically. But he maintained that the US had to engage with multiple partners in pursuit of shared interests. And now Dr. Jaishankar has just met with the US Secretary of State. Vishal Vivek has been tracking all the finer developments. Vishal, take us through what we know so far.
Well, so far the details of the meeting are not known because Jaishankar has just tweeted about this meeting that we had been expecting, and there was a lot of expectation building up to this meeting. But there are several things that India and the US side need to thrash out. The first one being the trade deal that seems to be progressing now, because we had seen in the recent past that there were several impediments to the deal. Those seem to have been removed now, but whether or not the next stage of discussions will be held soon, that is one of the biggest question. Trump has also sort of softened his stance on India, but he does keep repeating the rhetoric that India will stop buying Russian oil in order to get back in the good books of the US. India has so far not commented directly on that statement from the US, but these are some good signs. The 6th or 7th round of discussions, the trade discussion, when that will be held, that is the biggest question, because both the sides have met quite a few times in the last few months to iron out the details. There are several differences that they need to talk about, such as whether India will allow the US to have access to the Indian agriculture market. That is the biggest point of contention. So one can assume that these are the topics that would have been discussed in this big meet.
So far, Vishal, is it too early to say, or do we have any signals or shared concerns, especially around the matter of tariffs, our bilateral deal, and also the Indo-Pacific and West Asia?
Well, sources have indicated to NDTV in the last 3-4 days that the tariffs that have gone up to 50%, because 25% tariffs were put on top of the 25%, and that was owing to US's allegation that India keeps buying Russian oil, and that in turn funnels the Ukraine war. So that particular 25% tariff could be taken off, and the tariff could be brought down to as low as 15% from 50%. That is what the sources have indicated, but it's not confirmed. So the discussions will be around these points to get the tariffs to some points that is manageable, because India is attracting one of the highest tariffs in the world right now, 50%, whereas the adversary Pakistan has only 19% tariffs, the lowest in Asia. That is what also US has tried to calm the nerves in India, saying that just the fact that US is trying to consolidate its relationship with Pakistan doesn't mean the relationship with New Delhi will be compromised. So these are some really good signs. We'll have to wait for confirmation on these details.
Indeed. As always, Vishal, thank you so much for joining us with all the details that have emerged. We'll, of course, revert to you for regular updates.